Welcome to the Showskaters podcast, episode 13. Today we're diving into the incredible journey of Anna Rechnio. Born in Warsaw, Poland, Anna carved her name into the ice as a 5-time Polish national champion and a 2-time Olympian, hitting the global stage at Lillehammer in '94, where she claimed 10th, and Nagano in '98. She soared to 5th at the '98 Worlds in Minneapolis, 6th at Helsinki in '99, and also secured a bronze in Skate Israel. From Grand Prix podiums to a 6th place finish at the Goodwill Games, Anna's amateur career was pure fire. She didn't stop there. Anna traded competition for the spotlight, dazzling audiences worldwide in shows like Kings on Ice, Hot Ice in Blackpool, and Stars on Ice tours, to name a few. She's graced rinks from Saudi Arabia to Sun Valley, proving she's a pro on and off the ice. Oh, did I mention she's also an incredible and inspiring coach with credentials from Poland and Sweden, and has been shaping skaters since 2001 from Krakow to Idaho. Get ready. Anna's story is a triple axle of talent, grit, and passion. Now let's get into the conversation. Hi, Anna. It's amazing to finally have you on this podcast. How are you doing?
Hello, Adam. Yes, I'm glad to finally having a time and not being sick and have a chat with you.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good. I've been looking forward to this podcast with you for so long because I feel like we're very similar in the fact that we want to inspire and motivate the next generation. And I see you very prolific posting on Facebook, and I imagine you're very much the same in real life with your students. But before we talk about this, let's talk about your childhood. I'm really interested to hear where everything started for you. So, how did you first get into skating? And is there a story about your first pair of boots?
I think it's pretty much like most of us. I don't have any relatives really which were very into the sport professionally. So my first pair of skates I got for Christmas as a present, and of course I wanted to try it out. My dad came to with me to public skating, and during this public skating there was figure skating coach from the proper club and ice rink, and she said, "Oh, you keeping the figure skating and steps pretty well. Maybe you would like to sign to the sport class."
Yeah,
And this is how
the
it
classic
started.
start. Yeah.
And this is how it started. So I went for tryout for the skating sport class because I was 7 years old, and I got in,
Yeah.
and this is how it follow up.
Oh, that's amazing. And what drew you to want to ice skate initially?
I think skating giving a lot of freedom. So I mean, you can express yourself in so many different things, artistically. Um, I don't know, more way of sport, doing different tricks, difficult tricks as well. I think if you have too much energy, this
Yeah.
is the good place to to leave it. Uh, uh, but I think the most important that you can just express yourself. Sometimes it's a little bit like an actor in the theater.
Yeah.
You just put the mask on and you can be somebody else.
No, for sure. And so growing up in Poland, how was your childhood with skating in the picture? Were you at a sports school for skating, or was this something that you had to do separate to school?
And luckily, in Poland, those days we had a sports school. So starting from the primary school, up to high school, you could choose the sport as a part of the subjects in school. So basically, we could train in the morning. Then someone was coming and picking up us from the ice rink and bring to school. And then after school, we were drive back to the ice rink for next training. And then in the afternoon, parents could pick us up. So I mean, the whole day was so easy to really plan.
Yeah, no, that's
I
great.
know
I
that
mean,
nowadays it's so much difficult because people are, I mean, going to different schools, then driving back and forth, trying to manage to their certain hours. So I mean, this was pretty much organized.
yeah, now because my daughter is 6 years old and she goes to the sports school here in Gdansk. So she skates every morning, 8:10. She's on the ice 5 days a week. So that's why I ask about it because my daughter is going there. And Natalia is actually the coach as well. So Natalia is
Super.
there as the coach. And Wednesdays I can go and I can sit and I can watch. I can be the parent watching my
Yeah.
daughter skate. I mean, she's a little bit naughty when her mum is the coach, but I don't want to push her into it. I'm just happy that she's skating and she enjoys it. So
But I think as well, nowadays when you have so much organized day for your kid, it's so good because you don't have to really worry where they are or what they
yeah,
do, especially with cell phones, iPads,
yeah,
computers. I think
oh,
it's
definitely,
great that they can do something uh, more for themselves.
yeah, definitely. And so, how is it in Sweden? Is like in England, I remember we would be getting up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning once I really got into it. And traveling sometimes an hour and a half to skate from 6 till 8, and then coming back and trying to go to school. Is it similar to this
Very
in
similar,
Sweden?
yes, very similar.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, different kids going to different schools. I would say that probably it's easier in the smaller cities. Uh, we were training with Alex for many years in Stockholm, so this is, I would say, nightmare
yeah,
because people living in the different parts of the city, and of course with the traffic in the capital, it's insane because sometimes it can take almost 1 or 1.5 hour drive just to drive from one side to another. In the smaller cities, I think it's a little bit easier because there is not such a big traffic and not such a big um, parts between school and ice rink. But still, kids going to school from 8 to 3, older ones even to 4 o'clock, and then we
yeah,
can start training sessions after school.
yeah, yeah. It's tough. And so, for yourself, did you have any other hobbies, or were you dancing, or was it just strictly skating?
I mean, when I started skated, I was doing still gymnastics and a little bit of swimming, but swimming was not my thing.
You prefer the
not
water to
not
be
my
hot
thing.
and
No,
skate the top.
I mean, I rather to have a frozen water.
Yeah,
uh, but I did gymnastic for 2 more years when I started to skating, and then of course skating become the sport which I wanted to focus on.
yeah,
But as you know, skating is not just about skating. Yes, so I mean, we had ballet, we had off-ice training with coaches from Lecco Athletics. So I mean, it still wasn't just a skating.
yeah. No, for sure. And what was the turning point, and how old were you when you changed from going skating to, hmm, I could do something with this. Maybe there was a coach that started to push you. Kind of what was the shift for you to take it to that next level?
No, when I was young, I always loved to perform, and I really enjoyed the skating. So I mean, no one had to really stand, above my head and sort of push me in to go to the training. Maybe I didn't like, the figures. This was pretty boring.
Yeah.
But on other hand, I think it helped us a lot with the edges and positions and a posture. But anyway, I think the major breakdown, it was when I was 13 and I did my first double axel and was sent to the international competition, which
Wow.
I won. And somehow then you're thinking, oh, maybe I am really good.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
that's
of
amazing.
course it's like as you eating, you want it more and more and more.
Yeah.
So I think this was like a breakdown point when I was looking at skating on as something which I really wanted to do professionally.
Yeah, and touching back on the figures, like knowing you and what I know of you, like it's the opposite of what you would want to do. You're always so powerful and had a lot of speed, and then it's like, no, slow down. But sometimes the
Yeah,
magic
so
is
you
in
can
things that
imagine
you
how
don't
it
want to
was with
do.
me.
Yeah, but sometimes you've got to do the opposite of what you want to do, and it actually helps you in the long run. But you don't always know this at the time, do you? You're like, I don't want to do this. I want to go over there and jump. I want to spin. I want to. So
Yes. I think the biggest fun was, going around with the circles, those which you were doing the.
oh, it's
Yes.
what were they called? It's like a compass, isn't it? Like a
Yeah.
there was a
I don't
name
know
for
how
it,
you
wasn't
call
there?
this in English. In Polish, it's called circle when you draw the circles.
Yeah.
Uh, so
I'm
I
sure
mean, you're
someone is
using.
screaming it out now. Someone's like, but I forget what it's called. So
But I
let's,
mean, of course, it was boring, and and the practices were early morning, like 6 o'clock, and you were like thinking, oh my God, why I have to be here at 6 o'clock? But as you said, after a while, you realize, okay, this was really helpful uh, to get the good posture, good position in all the skating elements.
yeah,
And of course it was so much easier than to jump.
yeah, no, for sure. So let's let's talk more about your competitive career. So I imagine at 13, when you won your first competition, this was your first kind of breakthrough. So after you'd had your first breakthrough, kind of walk us through the next years of competing for you and what you kind of remember.
I mean, I was moving pretty fast between junior and senior because I competed first competition in senior when I was 15. And I mean, of course, it was, when you're young, you don't really think about it. You just enjoy yourself, having fun, and just feel okay. That's great that I can be around people. I mean, sometimes even twice your age. But as I said, I really enjoyed skating, and in junior, in the international competition, I was usually pretty high, and I really loved to jump. This was my thing, that I
Yeah,
really loved to jump. And I think that the judges could see it, that the jumps were usually very powerful and on pretty good speed. Um, but as well, because I was enjoying myself, I think that the audience and the judges, of course, when was a good skate, they could enjoy it as well. And this was a big plus because I'm pretty much emotional up to those days, that if I'm happy, i can I can really show that I'm happy. And of course, if something's going wrong as well, you can see on my face that it's not the way I would
Yeah.
love. Uh, but I have to say that I mean, I went to my first Olympics when I was 16, and I enjoy it very much. But I think that if people ask me how I felt during this Olympics, it was a little bit, you know, like I was a mascot because whole team was around 20s, and I was the youngest one.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, you don't feel like you're on the Olympics. You just enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it everything you expected before you went? You must have had an idea. This is what it will be like to go to the Olympics, and then you go. Was it better? Was it, or how was it?
I think it was, I mean, for sure more than I expected.
That's great.
Because I mean, this is, I mean, major event for all discipline, all winter disciplines. Yeah. So I mean, the amount of people and audience, other athletes which coming and cheering, us going and cheering for other athletes. I think it was great to, you know, see, talk with the other athletes, how they prepare, because I mean, different discipline, they prepare themselves differently. Yes. For example, you know, figure skaters, when we finished our competition, we usually rest. But for example, cross country skiing, they don't rest. They still train after when finish the competition. So I mean, there was plenty of different things which we could still, you know, share,
Hmm.
talk through. I mean, discover, because maybe sometimes we even didn't know some things about the other sports. And on the end, of course, when everybody were done with the competition, it was like a, you know, huge party of all
Yeah.
athletes, and we all could enjoy ourselves. So I mean, this is something which usually you have on the competition, but in not such a big scale.
Yeah. You know, it's that's something that would never even cross my mind, or a lot of skaters, if they're getting to go to the Olympics for the first time, and you can go and actually almost try to gain as much knowledge from other skaters in their methodologies and how they do things. Because nowadays, a lot of people post a lot of stuff, but you know, especially back then, there wasn't social media, there wasn't or maybe there was internet, I don't know, but there wasn't as much information as there is now. So that could be something to do as a skater when you go to these big competitions.
Yes, of course. And I mean, you know, seeing people, you know, when I was young, I was always looking at the TV on Katarina Witt.
Mm.
And I mean, it was my idol when I was young. And then uh, there was Olympics and Europeans in 1994, and I was competing with her. So, you know, it's like, oh my God, I will be seeing my idol, I mean, like unreal,
Yeah,
and being, you know, able to talk to her, and or maybe sit in the same dressing room, or being in the same warm up. I mean, you know, it's, when you think about it, somehow crazy. Yes. Wow.
yeah. And do you remember when your first meeting? Do you remember what you said?
Uh, you know, again, I was a little kid because I was just 15, but of course, you know,
Yeah,
taking autographs, because this was
yeah,
the time when, I mean, we didn't have cell phones with the camera and
yeah,
video, so there was more of signing the, you know, T-shirts, piece of paper, doing the
yeah,
normal photo with the photo camera. So I mean, this was something big. Yes.
yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So, what was your favorite memory from your competitive days that still sticks with you now?
I think the World's Championships in Minneapolis in 1998 is the most touchable for me, because I had pretty bad skate in the Olympics in Nagano, and I had really tough season. And then I went to Worlds without any expectations, really.
Yeah.
I just wanted to enjoy myself and my skating, and I was second after the short program, and I think it was something which I totally didn't expect.
Yeah.
Uh, and getting a standing ovation from the audience, it was, I mean, really tearful, and I mean, almost like jumping up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think this is the the memories which I'm still holding with myself.
That's amazing. And so you've gone to the Worlds with no expectations, and then you're sitting second after the short, and suddenly all these expectations are here. You've got all of this pressure. How did you prepare for the long at this point?
I think that on this competition it still was, of course, there is coming this craving. Oh my God, I'm second. I can maybe manage to have a medal. Yes,
Yeah.
and of course, I mean you starting to a little bit focus yourself on the place, not on the skate.
Yes.
Uh, and sadly, yes, I did one mistake in long program, which cost me maybe a medal, but fifth place at this moment, I think it was big thing for me as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, being 19th in the Olympics and then being in the top 10 in the world, I think it was uh, really satisfying for me. Of course, there is this craving. Oh, I was so close, and there
Yeah.
was still no these small medals for the short or long program which you have right now. So I mean, sadly, just the memories of being second.
Yeah. And so what lessons do you think you learned along the way from being 19th and then coming into the Worlds with no expectations? What lessons do you think are there that other people could learn from?
I think it's very much important just to focus on yourself and enjoying your skating, because we all as a skaters, we pretty much perfectionist. We always think how good we would like to do every element, um how each element should look like in our vision. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's okay if something is wrong, and I think this is the most difficult to learn when you are young skater, because you want to do it everything 100%. And I mean, in real life, it happens very rarely, I would say. So I think the most important is just to enjoy yourself and do what you really love.
Yeah. No, for sure. And it's I've seen myself years ago where I'm like perfection over progress, and I was like, no, progress over perfection. And now I look back and I'm like, just progress. Every session, just a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And I think as coaches, mentors, uh, talking to the younger generations, it's kind of our job to get through to them our own experiences so they don't have to go through those experiences, and we can kind of guide them in a better way, which isn't always easy because the younger ones always seem to think that they know better. So it's
Yes,
it's
yes, but
tough.
as well, yes, but as well, I think if you look at the kids at the moment, taking the daily failing very much into themselves as well. So I think it's sometimes, which I'm finding with my students, it's like I'm saying to them, it's okay to fail. It's okay to have a bad day. It's
Yeah.
it's okay that you can do something. I mean, we all are like this. I mean, you don't have people which are robots and we are like 100% every day. It's still
Yeah.
okay to have a bad day and do, as you said, just a little bit of something better, finding one positive thing in the practice, one positive thing during the day,
Definitely.
which you're
100%.
taking, not constantly negative. Oh, but it was so bad. uh, no, it wasn't bad. It was just not maybe perfect, but I still did, for example, this.
Yeah,
So
you've got to find the positive in the training, because especially when you're really pushing yourself, when you're trying to get to that next level, you're going to fail many, many times, and it's just part of the process. You just have to accept it and just keep going.
yes, 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 but you know how we were young as well. Small or younger or teenagers, especially teenagers, I would say, they don't have patience. You know, they would like to have
Yeah.
it now,
Yeah.
or in one day, or in 2 days. I mean, everything takes time, and in skating especially, I think you have to be very patient, because sometimes that the training process can take really, really long time, and then you will see result just on the end of the, I mean, black corridor, I would say. Yes, and then you're
Yeah.
thinking, oh, I'm giving up. No, don't give up, because I mean, it's just in the corner.
Yeah. No, definitely. So, were there any setbacks in competition over your career that kind of shaped you as a skater that you had to overcome?
No, I think I had, few of those. If I'm looking, I moved to States when I was 17, and I lived with my coach there. So I left my family in Poland, and I was in States by myself. And I have to say that my coach was pretty much very strict.
Yeah.
And of course, after some good years in junior, there was big expectation in the senior that I will be, moving forward and fighting for top 10, maybe medals. So expectations were really big. um, I had my own expectation. My coach had as well big expectation, and sometimes, it could be as well very difficult to find this center or middle where you find yourself and your expectation and expectation of the coach. And I remember that, sometimes when I didn't skate well, the coach could not talk to me for like few days.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're teenager, first you think, oh, but why? You're starting to doubt yourself, that you're not good enough, and that you maybe shouldn't do it, and then maybe skating you should quit because it's too tough. And then, finally I was like, okay, I really love skating, but I think that the place when right now, it's not where I feel happy.
Yeah.
And I was okay, I can't be anymore with this coach, because it makes me miserable, and I think it makes my skating miserable, because I'm not focusing on the right part of skating, and I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. So I just pack my bags and move back home just before the nationals. And there was a moment when I was thinking, okay, maybe it's time to quit. But then I thought, okay, I was training so hard for so long, I'm giving a go. And I didn't have a coach. I just competed by myself, and I won nationals.
Wow.
And then and then you're like, okay, maybe this is a point when you're like, okay, maybe it's the time when I'm starting to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
So then was like this one point when I felt, okay, uh, now I'm doing skating for myself.
Yeah.
And then I think second part was when I was already on the top. I was 15 worlds on 98, sixth in 99, and then I was going towards in 2000, and I was like really hoping for the medal, and skating was totally bad. And then you're getting so frustrated, and I said, okay, I quit, because I I
Yeah.
can't I can't stand it, the pressure. I can't stand the training so hard is not giving the result which I want. And for 1 year, basically, didn't even go close to the ice rink. I said that I don't want to see the skates, never, never again.
Wow.
Uh, but then I started to study in sport academy in Krakow, and my friends from the group, they had to pass the skating as a subject, and they were like, oh, please go with us to the ice rink
Yeah.
because we don't know how to skate.
Yeah.
You have to help us and teach us a little bit. And this is how I started to go back to skating. And then I realized that I really love skating as skating. It's not about the competition. I just love skating.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I
It's
started to do the shows.
yeah. Yeah. So
uh,
yeah, I mean that makes sense. That makes sense to take time off after many years of competing and almost getting what you wanted, and then kind of just very closely missing out. It's tough. It must have been tough to come to terms with that.
but it's sometimes when you feel like you burn out, like you don't have any more of motivation to make yourself happy, because I think this is the biggest issue. um, Skating or professional sports cost a lot of time training.
Yeah.
I mean, every day you anyway coming and training and trying to be better. And I think when you don't have this little goals and little happiness every day, you're starting to lose the motivation, and you feel like you're doing it, but you don't have a fun.
I hope you're enjoying my conversation with Anna. I'd like to pause for a moment to give you an update on our exciting new skating company, One Blades. We've been working tirelessly for over 8 months, and after 100 iterations, many breakthroughs, and innovations, we're on the verge of launching something truly special: the future of ice skating blades. We believe in doing things right the first time, and we're eager to share how these blades will enhance your skating experience. Now, let's get back to our conversation. Yeah, so after you took this year off and then you slowly got back into skating with some of your friends, your colleagues, what drew you to shows, and which shows kind of did you kind of start with?
Uh, First of all, I started, to come back to the training, because of course I felt okay. I want to see if I'm still fit enough, uh, and what I can do, uh, sort of check up myself if I'm still able to do stuff,
Yeah,
like triples, and skating and having fun. Mm, Besides this, I was helping a little bit younger skaters, and coaching when I was study. So I started with short term shows, because I was still study, and that was perfect because I felt that I was not overwhelmed with
yeah,
skating, that I had my like a sort of normal life, study, having friends, and being and socializing with other students, but as well I could still enjoy what I really love.
yeah. And how did you find how did you find performing for audiences over judges? Did you prefer that? Was that more for your heart, for your soul when you skated?
I think it's more fun because there is no really pressure. It's no
Yeah,
pressure that you will do something wrong, that someone will judge you for undone element. You feel very much free with everything what you can do, and you can express yourself in so many different ways. um, Not only like, okay, judges like just the classical music and nice, um, you could do whatever really what you wanted.
Yeah.
And I think this is really great thing in skating and in the shows, that you can reborn yourself, I would say, like this, because still in the competition you are a little bit close in some kind of box which you have to keep up, so you can get as many points as you can, or like it was, I mean, before, of course, in the system 6-0, that I mean the judges will appreciate your skating, but in the shows, really you can discover yourself as a new person, a new skater.
Yeah. And what were some of the favorite shows that you performed in, or maybe you've got some particular roles or routines that you've got to perform?
I mean, I have to say that I never skated in the Holiday on Ice or in Disney, so I never did this kind of show, but I really enjoyed Art on Ice, the show in Switzerland, which usually takes part with professional and amateur figure skaters.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first shows with the live music. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this was really, really fun. Um, uh, I did the shows in the on the ship with Willie Bitak, and this I really enjoy. And I think at the moment I have a lot of students, my students,
Yeah.
which doing the contracts on the ship, and I know that they really enjoy themselves as well. Um, First of all, it's that the shows are very interesting, how they put, because every ship has a different story show. And second, I think that, cruising can be fun, because
Yeah.
you can, I mean, go and visit different parts of the world, which is really great. And not usually you have competition, for example, in Australia or in China or in Japan. So I mean,
Yeah.
this is great. Or on the Caribbeans. Yes, I mean, this is almost
Yeah.
like enjoying really nice vacation with something what you loves to do. And of course hot ice, which we did together. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think this is the show which is really great. Shame that it's not or it wasn't so known worldwide, because I think it is really one of the best shows in the world.
Yeah, I mean it's changed a lot over the past few years, but it's why I started skating, started doing shows. I saw the show when I was 13, and I said that's what I want to do. I want to be a show skater for my whole life. And at 13, I probably had a single toe loop.
But you already knew what you want to do.
Yeah, you know. So, but like for me, the cruise ships, they were so intimate because the audience is so close, because they're like, and so it's you just feel everything. Like I did a couple different shows at different ships. It's it's very special. Living
Yes,
in the little cabin, not so special. But apart from that, everything, the
I
food
mean, there are
sometimes.
pluses
But
and minuses. Yes,
yeah,
pluses and
but
minuses.
the pluses, they're big. It's
Oh
yeah,
yes, oh yes, oh yes. And I mean, uh, there are different people. Yes, some of my friends, I know that, they love sheep life, how you can say it,
yeah,
and some people, they can't stand it, and they feel that it's, like you are in the little bubble, and you a little bit like out of the real world, because sometimes if you're doing the
yeah,
contract for 7 months, you're a little bit like
yeah.
uh,
It's
of
a
the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different routine to regular life. And I think, as someone that's done most of the shows like Disney, there's different periods of your career or your age where some shows would be better for you. Like Disney would be better when you're very young, as opposed to when you're 35. You know, and ships can be good if you're a couple. Ships can be really good because then you share your cabin together, and it's a different experience than being single, I would say.
But I have to tell you that I have one skater. She is doing the ships, I think, already 15 years. Can you imagine? And she loves it. And
Yeah,
I mean, what you can do, yes. I mean, if you do what you love, and this is what you feel like you satisfy, and you feel that is something what you enjoy, uh, why not? Yes.
yeah. Hey, it's like here's a couple of fun, interesting stories for you. So, if Amanda didn't close the show the year that she closed it, I would probably have stayed in hot ice for my whole life. I had my house, I was there, but she closed the show. I wanted to go on the cruise ships, and they told me, "You don't have triples." I had double axle. You should learn pairs. So I went and I found a partner, and 2 or 3 years later, I got onto the cruise ship. Fast forward years later, I got injured on the cruise ship and I left. And once I was better, Sylvia wouldn't have me back. So I went on to inlines. So if it wasn't for these two small things that happened for me, I would never have gone onto the inlines and kind of found my niche. This is where I've kind of like, okay, I'm kind of good at this, as opposed to when I was on the ice as a single skater, very average. So it's like sometimes things happen out of your control,
And I mean,
and
some
good
things,
for you.
as you look, maybe you in the beginning think that it's a disaster, but maybe it's a purpose of it. Yes.
Yeah,
And as you're saying, if Amanda wouldn't close the show, we probably would skate as well for many
yeah,
more years, because I mean, it was really, really nice show, because you could combine your normal life with working in the show and
yeah,
doing what you like. But then, I
yeah,
mean, when the show closed, we thought that maybe it's time to move to the next step and
yeah. Oh,
starting
so we were.
to
Oh, so
teach.
we were there at the same time when they closed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was. Yeah. Do you remember getting that email? I was in Wolfsburg, and
Oh,
I've just signed. I just got more money, and I've actually made me sign a 2-year contract. It's still not great money, but anyway, it was better.
but it's just you feel on the first minute, you're like, oh my god, my whole life is ruined.
Yeah.
Like, what I will
Well,
do
it's
now? I mean, you
yeah.
just like, oh.
But it's life only makes sense looking backwards. When you look backwards, when I left Disney because I tore the cartilage in my hip doing something stupid. I went home, I got better, and then someone got fired, and I got into hot ice, which was my goal, my everything of life. Hot ice one day, So I got what I wanted, and then it's like, is this really what I wanted? And then I went crazy and partying way too much, but things happen. You look back and you go,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, actually, this is how it was supposed to. I mean, I've had a crazy life. People that really know everything that I've done.
Yes, but then it's like, for us, I think for us it's really difficult to to go to the normal life,
Yeah, what is
because we are like constantly looking for something to make us a little bit higher adrenaline, like, okay, let's do something. I mean, maybe not crazy, but I mean that you need like stimul
yeah,
to, like, wow, yes.
yeah.
So I think, of course, skating by yourself, it's more fun in the different way, because you can express yourself. But when we finished with Alex and we started to teach kids, I mean, I found myself that I really love coaching,
Yeah. No, that's
which of
definitely
course is sometimes can be not easy. But again, it's that you still can try to teach, learn, and the most important, show skating as something more just than the skating, that it's, I mean, your passion for a whole life. Because I mean, skating, if you're taking uh, as just, okay, a sport can be pretty boring because you repeat constantly the same stuff on the training.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you are really passionate about this, every day it's so much different. You can learn so many different things, or the same step with different variation, and I mean, this is what is great about skating.
Yeah. Oh, it's, I mean, experimenting is really, really fun with skating for sure. So I feel like we've got a nice little segue here into coaching. So,
Yes.
like, what was the transition like going from shows into coaching for you? And where did you start coaching as well?
I mean, every time when we were having a break from the shows, usually I was going back home to Poland, to Warsaw, and helping little the skaters there with doing some choreography, helping with technique. And this is how how it started. So first of all, we were just helping out, and then I thought, okay, maybe this is something which I really wanted to do. So we opened up our own club in Warsaw,
This
and
is Alex and yourself.
yes, me and my husband Alex, and my best friend Agnieszka. She's still coaching in Poland, in Warsaw, in the club which we opened together. Um, and I mean, it was fun because you were discovering skating in the other side,
Yeah.
uh, which was fun as well, because I mean, then you were like thinking, oh, this is what my coach meant.
Yeah.
So then you were realizing, after a few years back, that that's why she was talking to me like this, or
Yeah.
this what she meant. I mean, very often I'm thinking about how it was many years back when I was skating by myself, and it's like, oh, why I didn't have a knowledge which I have now when I was young. I mean, it will be so much easier. But I
Yeah.
mean, life is as we learn on our own mistakes, and we develop um, year by year. So this is how it is.
Yeah. Something that it's been quite tough for me to come to terms with sometimes. When I was about 33, I started learning to coach, and I was also being coached at the same time by Dan Nicholson because I was in their rink, and I learned to jump correctly for the first time. And then at that point, I really understood how poorly I was taught and coached when I was, 11, 12, all the way up until I went into shows. And I thought to myself, if I'd had a really good coach for all of those years, how much better I could have been. I may have got into triples. I may have done more competing as opposed to at 17 just went straight into shows because that had been kind of my drive. And being in
Mm,
Blackpool as well, it's all about the show. If I'd have just been in a different rink with a different coaches,
yeah.
it may have been a whole different life. So, I mean, I'm sure you'll agree, you learn so much more when you start coaching. You really start to understand the mechanics of everything.
Yes, yes, yes. And I mean, as well as you're saying, my first coach didn't have such a big um, technical potential, I would say. And then when I moved to States, and I was sort of skating internationally, I could, see people and see technique and learn something more. And of course, then you coming to the solution. Oh, why I couldn't have this on the beginning? How much faster everything could, be done, and maybe how much better I could be if I knew that.
Yeah.
But again, you never know if it would help. Yes, I mean, we could just question ourselves, but still, on the end of the day, maybe it was meant as it was meant.
Yeah.
But yes, you discover again skating in totally different perspective.
Definitely.
Now you're starting to realize and take skating by the details, because you need to explain them to the kids. And as well, you starting to understand that each kid is so much different. So sometimes you have to find many different solutions
Yeah.
for many
Yeah.
different skaters.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You need 5 ways to explain everything because they don't see it, they don't understand it. Somebody so that you need to show them. So it's interesting. And just to
Yes,
touch
yes,
back on
yes.
something a second ago, like I think I'm sure at this point in your life, in your career, you're really happy with where you are. I would imagine. Yes. No.
Yes, I can't say that, I regret anything. Yes, of course, you always say to yourself, yes, maybe some things I could do differently. Maybe I could change something. But on the other hand, I mean, at the moment, I am here where I am and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Uh, and
It's
I still can move forward, and I still see that I can still grow, because I think in skating you learn every day, even if you already a coach with pretty big experience. I think you still learn every day, because kids, as we know, are so much different, and sometimes you think, okay, maybe I don't see anything different, but then you're like, oh, that's something new.
yeah, no, definitely. And I think something that not many people really think about because everybody focuses on the goals, on the success, on, aiming for somewhere and not who they're becoming along the journey of the setbacks, of not getting what you wanted to get. And then you look back and you say, every time I didn't get what I wanted, this has helped shape the person I am today, and then I can help people looking back that are kind of on the same journey.
Yes, 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 yes. And I think, skating, for some people, it's just a part of their life. But I think by skating, they can get better in the things which they will do later on. Because I mean, not everyone will stick with skating for whole life. Maybe they will be still coming and having once a while, putting the skates on, going to the public skating with their
Yeah,
own kids. But a lot of my ex student, they not skating anymore. uh, but for me, it's really nice to see that they succeed in their real life in some other parts of something which they do, what they study, or they change, to other hobbies, other sports, and they succeed. This
yeah,
is fun to see.
yeah. People need to do things that are hard. It's really important to learn and to fail and to overcome because that will help you in life as opposed to just getting everything for free. Everybody gets a medal, everybody wins. That's not helping
Yes,
anyone.
and this is a little bit, tricky, I would say, in Sweden, because Sweden, they really much having this easy life for kids. So they trying to pretend them from failing, from stress, which I'm finding a little bit not
It's not
right.
good. Yeah,
Not right. Because I mean, in real life, you have those situations which you have to be able to handle. Uh, real life, it's not easy. I mean, we all have problems. We all failing on in something. Uh, and we still have to keep up, and we still have to get up, and we still have to fight for something better. uh, so I think, I mean, I'm not fan of it. I mean, I'm not fan of
Yeah.
it that everyone, for example, on the lower level competition getting medal.
But what
I
kind of
mean,
a person is
you
that
yes,
creating?
and I mean, you have to feel that you did something good that to be
Yeah.
awarded. Yes, and I mean,
Yeah.
this is whole trick that, I mean, it's okay if the coach will tell you, okay, this wasn't good. I mean, this really doesn't look good. And my kids already know that, I can be tough, and I can say them, I mean, oh, this is really ugly. Like, I mean, but they know that I'm honest. and
Yeah.
and I think that, on the end of the day, kids are very, very pure. So if you're honest with them, they totally get it. You don't have to say to them, oh, you very good, you I mean, they can feel when they good, and they feel when they need to improve on something. So I
Yeah.
think this is very important to keep them accountable, and as well to tell them, okay, it's okay to fail. I mean, I'm failing as well,
Yeah.
and I don't feel, if I'm saying something wrong, or if I will, for example, mess up the name of the step, and then I'm like, oh, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And why no one is correcting me when I'm saying it's a rocker and it's not the rocker. And they, when we start to laugh, I mean,
Well, yes. When you don't mind to fail and you don't mind to mess up, that's when you grow. You've got to just push and fail. Like if you wanted to be a resilient person, well, you wouldn't just give them everything. Yeah, yeah, it's fine. You'd make them work for it, and they have to overcome things, and then they build those traits. If you wanted to be a very patient person, well, then you're going to have to wait a long time for things to build the patience. You don't just get given everything and then you're patient. It's the opposite. And I think a lot of
exactly.
governments
Yes,
around
yes,
the
yes.
world they want to create these people that are very soft and docile, and they can tell them what to do, and they follow in line. And it's like that's
Yes,
not
and
what you want.
especially now with all the social media, which is, the pluses and minuses, but for the young people, mostly they see already done thing, the
Yeah,
result, they don't see the background.
they they see the tip of
Yeah,
the iceberg. They don't
exactly,
see
exactly, exactly.
everything underneath that goes into it.
So
So
it's same with skating. They see this high level skaters with beautiful dresses, and doing all those triples, and it's like, this is what I want.
yeah,
Well, this take this much, and then it's like, huh? But I
yeah.
mean,
So
the whole fun, I think it's the journey. Yes, I mean,
oh, it's all about the journey, but you only realize this when you're older and you look back and you say, it is the journey. It's the getting up and it's like, okay, I mean, you could say for me, okay, next partner, let's learn it, let's learn everything again. Every time like never again. And it's like it's just but then it's so fun, you enjoy it,
yeah,
don't
yeah,
you?
yeah, 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 yeah. No, I totally
You
agree,
know?
because I mean, then you like, it's like a craving, like, yeah, I want to try,
Yeah.
I want to see if it will work. And I mean, yes, you fail again, and you're like, I will not do it again. I have enough. And then you like, after a month, you're like, yeah, but I think I'm missing,
Yeah.
and I think I really wants to try again. I mean, this is
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, but it's the like I've got a lot of failures, a lot of things that didn't pan out how I wanted to, but now I'm like, God, all of these different things that I tried and it didn't work correctly. But now when I put all of those together into one thing, like with what I'm doing with one blades, and then we can bring these things. I'm like, oh, that's quite. I understand how all of these parts work. I may not be the best at it, but I understand it enough to bring on the right people to bring everything together. So I think at the end of the day, failing is good. You just got to get you strap your shoes
Exactly.
back on,
and
your
and then,
skates, and go again.
you just looking back, okay, look how far I came. Yes, from
Yeah.
all those ups and downs, we still, we're happy about what we do, and I think this is the most important.
Yeah. So let's switch a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about how you coach, and let's kind of start with your coaching philosophy. How would you describe your style of coaching?
I think, yes, I like, I'm pretty precise, maybe like this. I'm pretty precise. So I like when everything is done good. So of course, for the younger students, it's always pretty, pretty difficult, because younger kids, they like to have fun and do different things straight away. They
Yeah.
don't like to stay, for example, and do one step for more than 5 minutes. And I like when it's done properly. So on the beginning, of course, we always have, oh yeah, but why? It's boring.
Yeah.
But I always trying to, encourage them. Uh, and of course, I'm always on my skates. So I'm skating with my students. And always trying to show them, okay, you have to see the difference, how it can be done really good and how it's done poorly. And I as well believe then first you have to learn how to skate to start to do some more difficult elements. Like I don't start with my students to straight away jumps. If I see that they don't know how to do 3 turns,
Mm.
uh, do basic skating, uh, because I believe if you don't know and you don't know which edge you use, how you want to jump.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to have a good base to be able to move forward with something more. Uh, and basically, I think that this is working pretty well because, yes, maybe on the beginning it takes longer time for us to stay on those uh, basic stuff, but then we're moving pretty quickly with the technique when it's coming to the single jumps, double jumps, and some of the students, of course, doing the triples, yes. Uh, but the base, I mean, this is
Yeah.
the most important.
Yeah, I mean, I think this would go for any sport. The longer you spend on the fundamentals, learning the simple stuff, the stronger skater you'll be when you progress, or athletes in whatever you're doing.
Yes, yes, yes. And even, if you feel that sometimes that you can move faster forward, anyway, you will be dragged back to move down to the fundamentals
Yeah,
if you don't have them
yeah,
in some point. I mean, this is how I'm how I seeing it, that sadly you can't skip things. You
yeah,
anyway will have to move back and do them. So why not to do it as it's said?
exactly. And I think it's really important if skaters they understand why they're being asked to do a specific move that maybe they don't agree with. If they understand the whole picture, okay, this is where we're trying to go, but you have to do this first, and then this before you progress. Then they understand the journey that they're on, as opposed to I remember sometimes that okay, you have to do this. Why? Because I said so. That's not really helping. That's not helping my picture of what I'm doing, as opposed to them understanding.
Yes, yes, yes. I think even if there are younger skaters, the explanation for what they need to do this helps a lot. That it brings a little bit more interest of doing it. But I'm finding as well that, for example, I'm trying to learn my skaters the names of the steps. And sometimes I'm, for example, showing the step and not saying what is the name and asking them what step I'm doing, or saying what step I would like them to do, and they have to show me, because it's like alphabet.
Yeah.
If you know the letters, then you can write the word. How you want to write the word if you don't know the alphabet? Yes. So it's same with skating. How you want to improve your skating if you don't know what you're doing?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Don't even get me talking about the Polish alphabet. It's like I'm on day 51 of my Polish Duolingo. I'm doing it every day. I still don't. I have no one to talk Polish to. I do
But I
out
mean,
here.
Polish is not very easy language to learn.
Yeah.
Honestly, we have a lot of those sh, ch, j, ch.
Yeah.
So I
Well, then you
mean,
have 7 ways to say coffee, or 7 ways to say that or this. Like he's got tamta, tamto. I'm like, and I have to type it. I'm like, I give up. It's so
or
frustrating.
you have a one word which means plenty of different things. Yes, which you like. Oh Jesus.
It's like, it's something I said I would do this year. I do it every day. We see where we are in a few years if I keep it up. So yeah.
But
So
I think it's good. It's good for you, because I don't know how you, but I feel, because I'm living in Sweden for 7 years, and I sadly don't know how to speak Swedish,
yeah,
because most people are speaking English very well. So it makes you a little bit lazy to sit down and really
yeah,
like force yourself to learn. But as well, when you're getting older, I feel like, the information is going in one ear and it's disappearing in the other ear. It's like not staying in your head anymore.
yeah. So that's what I was thinking about in Sweden. Are the names is the names just in English that you use for everything, or is sometimes in Swedish, or how does that work?
I mean, in training with the older skaters, above 10 years old, I would say it's not a problem to talk English, because in Sweden, English is almost like a second language.
Yeah,
They learn in school as well. In TV, they have subtitles in Swedish. So almost all the um, um, sitcoms, movies, everything is in English. So there
yeah,
is no really problem of communicating with older kids. But of course, with the younger ones, like 5, 6 years old, yes, here
yeah,
could be different. I would say some kids, yes, they speak a little bit English, but most of them Swedish. So then I have to try my Swedish, my
yeah,
poor Swedish. So
yeah,
I mean, like, head, leg, arm, um going to toilet, uh, tired, very poor Swedish. Yes, I can produce myself. I understand, but talking is not going very well.
yeah,
So sometimes it's very funny, It's like my kids, they speak, and my daughter, she's 14. Um, Swedish is her first language. So she speaks fluently. So, I mean, were we going somewhere, it's like, yes, you can speak with her Swedish, but with me English, please.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, so you've got your translator. Like
Yes, yes.
my translator, she's six speaks English and Polish, like both fluently. So
So
it,
yes, we have multi languages kids, and I think it's great as well, because I mean, Marisha is speaking 4 languages, and Victor is speaking 3 languages. So I mean, it's great for the future. Yes,
yeah,
that
no, for sure. And I think Poland's come a long way, even since I came here the first time 10 years ago. So many people are speaking English. Like almost every you go to Żabka, got the Żabka. Like there's one here. They're so everywhere. It's great, and everyone speaks English in there. occasionally people don't speak English, and I'm like, you don't speak English, really? Like, everyone speaks
Yes,
English.
we when I was young, I'm sorry to say it was 30 years ago. I'm talking very
Yeah.
yes,
So you were
30 years.
1 years old,
I mean,
30 years ago.
I mean, 30 years ago, we were learning in school Russian because, we still were the east part of Europe,
I
and,
mean,
and plenty of people were speaking Russian, no, non-English. When I was in high school, this was the first time when English was in school and you could choose English. So right now, I think that Poland moved very much forward, and it's a lot of people speaking English, a lot of people speaking German, a lot of people speaking French, and even Spanish, I would say. So I think it moved
I mean,
very much forward.
yeah. I mean, Poland has a crazy history. I'm just happy Poland is here.
Yes, 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 yes.
It's been through tough time. Very resilient people. It's
And I think we learned that we just go day by day and we don't give up and we fight for our own things, and still we are happy with the small things we can achieve.
yeah. No,
So
it's one of the better countries to live in, I would say, in Europe. As someone that's come from England and moved here, it feels very, very safe. Yeah, especially coming from when I came from London, I'm like, oh, this is so nice. It's quiet and there's no crazy stuff going on. It's a great place to live.
no, and I think people are, I mean, of course now we are more and closer to everything what is in the world, yes, because internet and all the online things, social media, you can check up and be like in the loop. But on the other hand, I think that you know we are very much down to earth, so
Yeah,
we're not going above some things. We keep our culture and our way of growing kids and sort of having the cities clean, and we still take caring of everything.
yeah, no, for sure. Is it possible for you to put a light on? You're getting darker.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I've
of
just noticed now.
course.
I'm like, I can't see
It's
where
like
your where your
I'm
where
going
your
to sleep.
hair
Yes.
hair begins. I just noticed, and we'll kind of segue back into coaching because there's some good questions I'd like to ask you. So, uh, as someone that loves to motivate on Facebook a lot, how do you motivate your skaters in person when they're stuck or they're feeling discouraged?
I'm talking a lot of with my skaters, but as well I'm trying to bring my own um, failures, which I had as a skater, and trying to show them that it's not happening only to them, because a lot of uh, young kids, they taking it very personally, and I think that the basically at the moment kids having a big problem with self-confidence. They
Yeah,
constantly feel that they are not good enough. uh, so again, it's pretty weird because, as I said, in Sweden, the government is trying to save them from this feeling, but it feels that it's even worse when they coming to the age 15, 16s, when they realize that life is not as it was showed to them
Yeah.
that it is pretty tough. Uh, but I'm trying to be, very honest, and then say to them, um, in skating it is like this, that sometimes you have good competition and you produce your best program, but it doesn't mean that next competition it will be the same. I mean, we have to work, and you have to work daily basis to be good, to keep your self in the shape. And as well, even if you will fail, that doesn't mean that you get worse. I mean, it's that you just got maybe bad day, or maybe something didn't work out well. We will go home to our own ring, and we will think what we can improve for next time.
Yeah.
So basically, my medicine for my skaters is small goals. We're trying to make like daily goals, uh, competition goals. If we have, for example, 2 weeks to next competition, we are trying to set the goal. Okay, this competition we would like to have, for example, this one spin in the program on level 3. So we're not making, okay, we want to skate the clean program with, I mean, earning 50 points. We're trying to focus on something a little bit smaller, because I think this is easier to achieve, first of all. And second, I think by achieving small goals, they starting to believe in themselves more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the confidence, and confidence is growing, and then they feel that they can. And then I can see that the motivation on the practice is much, much better.
Yeah. Yeah, so these small goals are great. You could say, okay, I want to be Olympic champion. Okay, that's your goal, but now break it down. Break it
Yeah,
down into
yeah.
small goals. What do you want to do today and then tomorrow, and how do you build your training? Like what does a typical training day or session look like for some of your top students?
I mean, basically, of course, they all go to school in the morning. Some of the kids which going to English school, because we have those in our city, having the morning training as a part of school, where I am a teacher as well.
Oh, great.
Um, so
Yeah,
so I mean, some of the days we have a morning sessions, and then they go to school, and then they come back after school. We start sometimes from the off-ice training, and of course they warm up. If there is no off-ice training with me, then they warm up by themselves, half an hour before the usual on-ice session. And then with the highest group, I have 2 ice session, which we usually start with longer skating warm up, basically working on some footwork, steps, um, lines, clean edges. And then we coming to this main part of the training, which is technique, of course. And then basically we repeat jumps from different entrances. Sometimes some of the days we focus only on a few of those jumps, which we do in different variation, in the different combination sequences. When it's closer to the competition, then of course we skating the programs, and then we repeat the elements from the programs, and this is focused more than on the on this part of the training. And of the training, usually we keep for spinning. And the last part, I would say, usually have 5 maybe 10 minutes fun part of the training. So I mean, some fun part as hydrogliding, learning the
Yeah,
spider girls, ini bowers,
yeah,
Billmans, some stuff which they show on the Instagram or
yeah,
on social media, which they would like to try. So I mean, I'm trying to keep them as well interesting in skating, that they can maybe see something what they like and they would
yeah.
like to try.
No, and so
So
do you use the I don't like the spinners, but the electric spinners where you stand and you spin and spin and spin and then you lift them up into the air? Do you use those?
I mean, in the X Club in Stockholm, we had this spinner, and we use it for the skaters. Here, sadly, we don't have it yet, but in bright future, we hope that club will be able to buy it, and we will have a place to mount it.
Yeah,
At the moment, we mostly, have the office equipment more, which we can, you know, take it from the room which we keep. So it's more the spinners, the ones, the foot spinners,
yeah.
no, not
It's
the electrical ones. But I'm finding that those things, of course, help skating a lot.
yeah. It looks like it would make a huge difference just to be able to rotate really, really fast and for your body to get used to the feeling. I feel like I would probably rip my groin to shreds if I tried to do that.
I think, it helps a lot. I don't know if I will say it correctly in English, vocabulary system, the spinning system,
Yeah,
that, you can feel that you're not getting dizzy in the air, because this is what happens, especially with the younger skaters when they learn spinning and jumping as well, with more rotation in the air. And of course, this spinning and pulling um, up in the harness, and spinning in the rotation helps to get the good posture in the air, because I'm
yeah,
finding sometimes for a lot of skaters the posture in the air is not great.
yeah,
And they could use, some extra training of ice to get the feeling of the good posture in the jump.
yeah. No, that makes sense. So, what's one technical tip you find yourself repeating over and over again with skaters, do you think?
Mhm. I mean, if you ask me what usually, I mean, one correction which I'm giving my skaters constantly, it's with the jumps. I'm talking constantly about the right arm closing to the rotation and left shoulder to open, because I'm very much fan of technique which is using to open the left shoulder and get through the jump. So I think this is the most correction which I'm giving during the training
Yeah,
session. Um, about skating, of course, keeping the arms, because with the little ones, I think it's a constant, drop down to the penguin position. So constantly saying to keep the arms up and bending the knees,
yeah,
because this is the big issue when you're starting to teach the kids that you know this sort of bounce is needed. You
yeah,
have to use your knees, you have to use your body to get the right feeling in the skating.
yeah. Rise and fall, I think some people say.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
exactly.
Would you say that that would be the best tips for young skaters just starting out, or maybe some other advice for young skaters starting out you may have?
Well, I think the most important is to having a patience. Yes, I know that it sound not fun for the little ones, but I think if you're patient, you will start to enjoy skating, because I know that a lot of kids, when they start and you start to walk, just, I mean, putting the first steps on the ice, it feels like, oh, that's it. Because kids usually look at the older ones and it's like, yeah, I want to glide like them with this speed on.
Yeah.
And I mean, just getting around the ice rink. Uh, but sadly, you have to start off walking. So, I mean, this is what I would say. It's that patient.
Yeah, because it can be a long time from when you start skating till when you get to do anything that's remotely interesting. It's can be months, can be years for some people actually.
Yes, 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 of course.
Let's take another quick break. A core goal behind One Blades has been to create a company that empowers skaters, which is why we're committing 20% of our revenue to our affiliate program and events. Want to learn more? Check out onebladesaffiliates.one. The link is in the description. You can sign up there and get notified when our affiliate platform launches. Affiliates will also enjoy a 20% discount code for our pre-order, plus lifetime commissions on all sales through their links. Now back to the conversation. Have there been any notable skaters or coaches who have helped mold you into the coach you are today?
I think two of my own coaches, Barbara Kosowska, the coach which I train in States, and then as well my coach on the end of my career, Mirosława Brajczewska, helped me a lot with my coaching and me as a person, how I trying to get the information to my students and how I want to and trying to be as a person to them when I'm coaching.
Yeah, and what do you feel like you learned particularly from either of them? Like what sticks out in your mind?
I think it's first. I think it's that trying to get from your students everything what you can, the best of them, and keeping it pretty tough. And the other one, I think it's more like uh, being a person and almost like a mom. So
Yeah,
take caring not only about the skating, but the whole thing around skating as well. And making sure that students feel that they taking care of not only during the training sessions, that I care about them as a person, because sometimes they can have a bad day, not in skating but in some other part of their life, and then we talk through, and sometimes the skating is the thing which they enjoy the most of the day.
yeah, yeah, and
So I think
also
this is very important to balance somehow, this
yeah,
toughness of as well with being kind and care.
yeah, and Alex is also coaching, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you feel you may have learned from Alex uh, coaching together?
I mean, we coached together with Alex for almost 12 years at the same club, so we were coaching as a team. Right now, he's coaching the other club, so I think it's a pluses and minuses with this. Minuses that, of course, when we were working together as a team, it's always easier because we know each other so well.
Yeah,
And as well, I don't think that you have those moments with your own husband that you compete with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You having the same goal which you trying to get your skaters. But on the other hand, you are like 24 hours a day together, which sometimes can be overwhelming. Um, and then you feel like you sometimes need your own space.
Yeah.
So now it's easier, I think, a little bit at home because we don't work together, so we can come and sometimes talk about the day at work, and then try to sometimes if we need a help with some skaters or with some situations, we can
Yeah.
talk through and having help from each other, which is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a relationship, you kind of it's good when you kind of you are driving the same direction. It's like as opposed to doing totally different things. Like for me, I always pictured the perfect relationship that I would want. And that would have to be with a skater that is doing similar things. And it's hard to find. It's very, very hard to
Yes,
find.
because I mean, people are pretty much competitive. Yes, we all are. But as well, I think that having the same sort of thing which you want and the same goal is fun as well, because then you don't have to, I mean, choose.
Yeah, you don't have to
Uh,
compromise
yeah,
between
yeah,
what you want and what
exactly,
they want. If it's similar, then you're almost a cheerleader for each other. You support
exactly,
each other as opposed to being competitive and that there's we're on the same team. That's the most important.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So
here it's so much easier. Yes, when you having the same goals or the same vision.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I've been searching far and wide for this specific person. May have found it, I
You
don't
will
know.
find, you will find.
Yeah, you just got to know what you want. You got to manifest. Anyway, God, why have I gone so red? I never go red. What's going on here? Oh, so no, that's amazing. So, how do you help your athletes find the balance between discipline and also the joy of skating? Because this you want both, but there's a time for one, there's a time for the other, really, isn't there? Or how do you see that?
I think somehow you have to find the joy in daily training, and I think this is the most important. If you like what you do, then you don't have to really force yourself in anything.
Yeah,
And then you just enjoy yourself every time. And as I'm saying to my skaters, I like skating, uh, and I like to see my students happy coming every day and doing skating because they love
yeah,
what they do. I mean, I don't want to see them miserable and sort of unhappy because something is not going right. It's okay. I mean, we're trying to, you know, get better, and even if today is not working, we coming next day, and we strive to do it right.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
So I think this is the most important, that you have to do what you like. And with the kids, they have to have this love for skating. I know that some, of course, maybe don't come because they want it. Sometimes it's parents, and then it's a little bit more difficult, I would say,
Yeah,
to find the joy of skating. But I mean, there are kids which really shows love for the sport, and I can see that they really enjoy everyday training.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you love, when you just really enjoy the work, yeah, it's not really
Yeah,
work because you enjoy it. Like, I'm someone that I really enjoy when it's really hard. I kind of like it more when there's more pressure. I really relish the opportunity to get to do that. So, Anna, what are your short term goals with your skaters at the moment?
I think mostly, we're working through moving forward with technique towards new season because we had already nationals and sort of almost the season is over for most of the skaters. But of course, we have our small goals to land, especially most double axel
Yeah,
and some triples. I think double axel is like this, secret jump of opening all the doors for the triples
yeah,
and preparing ourselves for the new season. I have few skaters which striving to get to national team as well. So hopefully, we can pull it all together.
yeah. And talking about double axel, is there one tip or one little technique or trick that you would like to offer that can help skaters?
As I'm working so many years with kids, I would say that there is no like special trick because to each skater you have to say something special. I would say
Yeah,
every kid has a different body, every kid has a different um, I would say energy. Some are very quick, some are very slow. uh, so I would say, technique in skating is, I would say, almost same. You
yeah,
can discover something new.
yeah.
Yes, but I think that this technique still has to be uh, moved around the certain skater.
Okay.
And then, if I see the person that I know that I can take it personally with the one.
Yeah, yeah. With the one.
Uh,
The one.
yes,
The
because
one.
I mean, yes, the one, yes.
With the one. Yeah, I mean it's hard, isn't it? You can't say, okay, do this, and then that doesn't work, but that works for someone else. You have to kind of find what works with everybody. Not that I'm
Yes,
teaching
the
you.
base. I mean, the base, of course, is it's same to everyone. Yes, the most kids are trying to focus on the rotation and they forgetting to jump. Yes, some thinking that if they will rotate quickly to the left leg, that will make more revolution. I mean, the technique, the base of the technique, I would say it's same. Yes, I mean you can't change something what is working for many years.
Hmm.
But as I'm saying, that the each body of the kid and each kid personality is very much different,
Yeah,
then we have to somehow adjust to the skater.
yeah, yeah. You've got to find what works with them. So, looking ahead, what's your big long-term dream as a coach in the skating world?
I mean, of course, like every coach, yes, I would like to grow a good skater who will go to big international events and Olympics. Uh, but besides that, I think that I would like to grow a skating school.
Yeah.
Nice skating school with the good club and you know a lot of kids which are coming every year, and then you have somehow a system in your club
Hmm.
and build it so there is no breaks in between the skaters. Because for example, at the moment I joined the club where I'm working 3 years ago, so I have the skaters which are older on the pretty good and high level, but then I have pretty big break, and then I have plenty of little skaters.
Yeah.
But I think every coach would like to keep this harmony that we having the skaters almost on all levels exactly.
Yeah.
So you're moving stable. and you don't see this big gaps in between age and technique level.
Yeah, I mean, it takes years to get to that point. Maybe 7, 8 years, maybe more.
That's why it's a process of, I would say, like you're saying, around 10 years to be able to build that. It's starting to come year by year, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough when you
But
think.
slowly we're getting there.
Yeah, it's tough when you think, oh, 10 years. You're like, how old will I be in 10 years?
Yes, and it's like, when you're getting older, the patience is starting to be not so so good. You want
Yeah,
everything quick.
yeah,
Uh, but I think, if you have good skaters on which younger skaters can look up, it's a big help,
yeah. No, for sure.
because then they can see that things are working for some skaters, older skaters, so they understand, okay, a lot of things it's still in front of me. I just have to work. And I think at the moment when I came, most of the skaters were on very base level. At the moment, they already with single axles and double jumps. So I mean, in 3 years we're moving forward.
Yeah, no, of course. If you don't see other people doing it in your rink, you don't believe you can do it yourself. It's really important. And so let's talk about your system. So maybe the system that you have now and your dream system, because I remember speaking to Simon Briggs, and they have a system where there's multiple coaches and multiple members of a team who are all doing different things, as opposed to a singular coach kind of having to wear many hats and do everything. Like, what kind of system do you have now, and what kind of system would you dream to have if you could just create it?
Well, at the moment is basically me
Yeah,
as a coach, and I have off-ice coach, which helping a lot, because this is a little bit, thing which I don't have to worry about. Of course, older skaters on the higher level, it's me who is taking care of them mostly. With the younger ones, it's my older skaters who help me. Because I believe that it's very important that whole team is working at the same pattern.
yeah,
So I mean that the kids are not getting confused. I'm not big fan of many coaches with the different ideas, because I think that sometimes kids have a big problem of finding the right way to what to take. They
hmm,
want to take everything, and then they starting to get very confused.
yeah. Oh, of course.
And it's like, but he said that I should do like this, and you're telling me something different. So
Yeah,
I believe that it's very important that kids getting the same information,
yeah,
so they feel that everything is moving the same direction. And I think that, especially the base has to be teach very well.
yeah. No, I think all the
uh,
coaches need to agree on the methodology of how you're teaching. So, yeah,
but of course, in my perfect vision, it would be to have a team of 2 or 3 coaches, because when you're coming to the higher level, of course, then you need to spend more time on the details. And at the moment, I feel that I'm a little bit lacking of time, because I have so many different groups of skaters. I mean, at the club, I have at the moment 80 skaters.
80.
80.
Oh, wow.
So you understand that it's a little bit overwhelming sometimes. Then you feel like, okay, I'm lucky with the time.
Yeah. So 80 skaters next year on one blades, eh? Or later this year.
Yes, yes, yes.
We work out something. We talk. No, that's no,
So
that's
it's great that I have ability of having a good quality of ice, because we have almost 30 hours of ice per week in a club, so I can divide kids in the certain groups, which is easier for me to work, but still it's a lot of skaters to take care of.
Yeah, almost alone.
Yes, because I mean, of course, all my older skaters, they help me with the training process, but as well, I can't use them too much because they still have to be fresh on their training.
Yeah,
So as well, I'm trying, to balance it that it's not too much for them.
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about how you're teaching. Are you doing group teaching on certain elements, and then are you doing singular one-to-ones as well? And like, what is the breakdown of like 30 minutes and 50 minutes? Like, how does that work for the majority of the skaters?
I mean, Sweden basically is very similar like to Poland, that it's group trainings.
Yeah,
And this is the sort of base. Um, the Swedish way of thinking with all the sports is that everyone are equal, so that everyone has the same possibility to use the coach, to use the ice and the training. So basically we have a groups, and I'm trying to divide them on the certain level, so for me it's just easier to provide a good quality training. And then basically we are based on club test, the federation test, which skaters have to pass to be able to move to the higher groups, which is, I think, somehow a motivation as well for especially the younger skaters, that they can be moved to the better group if they will be practicing well and doing more and more difficult elements. Groups usually I have from 6 up to 12 skaters. Age-wise can be different
yeah,
because some skaters started pretty early, some skaters started a little bit later. So age-wise, it's, I would say, very different. But technically, groups are on the very similar level. So I as a coach don't feel stressed that I have to divide myself, for example, in 3 different um, things to do at once, because some skaters are doing, I don't know, triples and some are doing
yeah,
singles.
yeah. No, that
Uh,
makes sense. I kind of like the idea of the group trainings. I see them here when I'm watching my daughter, and there's different levels on the ice, and it kind of makes sense. It really makes sense. It's not it's
I
not
mean,
it's not so
I
much.
think private lessons are very good to work on something specific. For example, I don't know, when you're cleaning the program or working on the program choreography, or some skater has some difficulties with some element and can't get it right during the group session. But I think that I'm not fan of just private lessons,
Yeah,
because I feel that the skaters are not learning how to work.
yeah. And you
In
can
the
only
group,
teach so many.
sometimes, yes. Yes, in the group, sometimes you're getting, exercise which you have to do. And then the coach is correcting skaters, not constantly you. I mean, somebody else making the correction too. So you have to learn that if you want to do it and you want to repeat more times, you have to do it by yourself.
Yeah, yeah. There's healthy competition as well when you're doing it in groups.
Yes, yes. And I think as well, this brings a little bit motivation for the kids, yes, because
Yeah,
I mean, especially if they are in the same age, I think this motivates. If one, for example, is doing a single axel, the other one already wants to do it as well and trying
yeah,
more. So this sort of competition in between kids helps to improve the level of skating.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, I even as you'll have some countries. I mean, I'll just say England. You know, you have the learn to skate, and you're all in groups, and then after it's like, okay, now you go by yourself. And people kind of liked it in groups because they had their friends and they were competing and they're like working together. It is good. I like that. I like that way.
And I
So
think in Sweden as well, as you saying about the friends and groups, I think in Sweden as well, big thing it's the social part.
yeah,
That you coming and you having friends and like some of the groups training every day. So it's like a small family. They see each other every day, so they cheer for each other, help each other. I think that it's good.
yeah, no, it's great. So, as you say, the season is almost over. So, what plans do you have over the next few months? While at the end of the season with your skaters, do you have any events or seminars that you have planned, or your skaters are going to?
Uh, Luckily, in our city, the commune, which is sort of providing the ice for us at the rink, is very generous. So we have ice almost whole year around.
Amazing.
We will be having just 2 weeks off without the ice when the things will be renovated in the rink and making sure that everything is set for the next season. So basically we almost moving from end of the season to the beginning of the season. During the Easter camp, we will have our own club camp, but as well we having a seminar for the older skaters with Lorenzo Magri, who is coming from Italy to help us a little bit with the technique. And I think that I personally very like to invite people in, because I think it's like a fresh air for the kids and
Yeah, good.
something new and inspiring. Even if they love to train with me, I think that, being every day with the same person, you can get a little bit, maybe not bored, but just a little bit stuck. And sometimes it's very nice to have this new fresh air, which makes like an extra kick and motivation for a work.
Yeah, I mean, it's something for them to look forward to as well, which is always good.
Exactly, and I think for some it's very nice experience, to see something that people do something maybe more, maybe something different. We had in January camp with Yebin Mog, and kids just loved her. I mean, it was so great. I'm very big fan of Yebin. So I was very pleased to see her, I mean, skating and showing all the exercises, and kids loved to have her for those 3 days. I mean, it was really great.
That's fantastic. So, anything else planned, or is that?
I mean, during the summer, we have this huge like a district camp, which is running for 5 weeks in our city. So we have skaters from whole Sweden coming and joining the camp, as well some skaters from Norway. Um, Sometimes skaters from different countries as well. Hopefully, maybe we can invite some skaters from Poland. And then on the end of summer, I will be going to Finland for the seminar. So, I mean, summer usually is the busiest part of
Yeah.
the year.
So when do you get a break? Is it those 2 weeks? Is that when you get your break? You're like, no, I'm planning. I'm
Well, basically, this will be well, basically, this year will be our first vacation in 5 years,
Wow.
which we plan, because usually we were pretty much working constantly. Because I mean, even if we don't have ice, we have still off-ice training with the kids because school is running up to middle of June in
Yeah.
Sweden. So, it's like school is finishing, but then the summer camps are starting. So then it's extra work for us. It's like normal
Non-stop.
people going for vacation, we're working more.
It's good. It's a good job that you love this, right?
Yes, and I think, as long as you love what you do, I don't think you get tired of it.
No, I mean we have those days where it's tough, but they pass, and
I mean, as all, yes, but still, it's not that I can't say that I'm tired of my job or I hate it. I really much like and look forward to go to the ring and see kids. And sometimes, when kids are having a bad mood or bad attitude, I'm sometimes saying, okay, this is my place when I like to be. So I don't want to see someone unhappy. I
yeah,
want people to feel the same as I am.
yeah, yeah. Everyone should be happy. It's energy is so important. Like I went to get my hair cut today, and the lady that cuts my hair, she is always so smiley and just has a really good personality. And the other lady in there, I thought I was going to be with her today because I thought she was busy. And we were talking. I said, "Is she always miserable? Is that just how she is?" She's like, "Yeah, with everybody." I'm like, "Wonder why." It makes a huge difference how you how you are with other people. If you have good energy, you'll get good energy back. But if you have bad energy, it's like you suck in other people's energy. Then it's
Yes, and some people are as well very close, so it's difficult to read them. Yes, and I mean, if you open and you sort of going to people with the smile, uh, people, I would say, are more calm and more open to you as well.
yeah,
And I think in our job is very important because I believe that connection between skater and coach is very tight.
yeah,
And if you trust each other, then you can basically say anything and you will not get upset about this.
exactly.
And this what is my major goal to, having this connection with kids, that they know that even if I will say something which they maybe don't like, they know that I'm doing it in the best way for them. But on other hand, they know that if someone else will say it, I will rip their heart off. You know what I mean. It's
Oh
like
no, exactly.
that you're standing behind your skaters,
Like your
and
children, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You know.
so I think it's important. And then they know that they can count on you.
Yeah, it's so important.
Because I have so many skaters which already don't skate, but I still, sometimes hearing from them, and they, telling me what is going on in their lives, having families, I mean, getting married, different victories in the normal job. And I mean, this is nice that people don't forget. Still, sometimes, write to you, you feel like a grandma, yes?
Yeah. Not yet. Not
But I
yet.
think it's important that, I mean, that it matters that they feel that skating teach them something, not just the skating.
Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. So, looking back, what has been the most rewarding part of your journey? Firstly, as a skater.
On the first thing, I think traveling and visiting plenty of places which I probably would never visit. Especially that when I was skating, Poland was still not the country which was really open for everyone to travel and visit. So I think, first of all, I would say traveling. Second, making a lot of friends around the world. And some of the friendships, I mean, is staying already 20 or 30 years. Uh, and then, I mean, if I can say as well, my family. I met my husband
Yeah.
when I was skating in the show. So I mean, whole life is around the skating.
Yeah. Which show did you meet him in? Was it?
Uh, yes, we met in the hot ice.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Wow. So, what did he say? How you doing? How you doing in Russian or when you met, you were speaking English to each other and you?
No, no, because I mean, we in Poland before had the Russian language as an obligatory language in school.
Oh,
So I basically speak Russian. Uh, so we spoke Russian. At the moment, I can say that Alex can speak Polish, but it's very slow.
yeah.
And I don't have a patience to wait when he will say it. So we still speak Russian at home.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Probably one of the best things that's happened from
Yeah,
Blackpool.
yeah, 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 yeah. You know, and uh, you know, basically we started with the skating as a skaters. Then we skated as a skaters in the show, and now we both coaching. So I mean, our whole life is really around skating.
Yeah. When are you becoming a pet team? That one, you're gonna pick him up. Oh God. Did you ever do any pairs? Anything?
No,
Nothing?
no.
Still
I
time.
tried, I tried,
Yeah.
I tried, but basically didn't do any lifts on anything like this on the ice. I was just skating and doing some throws, but never did any lifts.
Just some throws. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean that actually makes sense. You're like, yeah, just some throw double axel, you
I
know.
mean, I love to jump, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty fearless with jumps.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say with the lifts, you know how it is. You have to be strong as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
it's-
so I mean, when you're skating as a soloist, our arms are not very ready to it.
yeah. Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. Do you remember Dennis? Dennis, and then there was Stefan. Do you remember Dennis?
Yes,
Dennis was doing throws with Stefan.
yes, yes, yes.
God, it's like I remember back in those days. There was Stefan, there was me, and there was Sylvan, and like there was, Sylvan was always like. I mean, he's still just like in great shape, and he would say to us,
Bodybuilder.
yeah, he would say to us, "Come on, guys, you need something." And both of us, we weren't doing pairs then. And then we both went on to do pairs. Stefan went on to do pairs. I went on to do pairs. Maybe it's all Sylvan. Maybe it's we need a nod or hat to Sylvan. So anyway, so what has
Yes,
been the most
yes,
rewarding?
probably yes.
Yeah. So what has been the most rewarding part of your journey as a coach? Do you think?
You know what? I think that working as a coach uh, teach you constantly. You can't say that it's like, oh, major thing. I think it's patience. Patience with the skaters, patience with parents. Uh,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, and I think as well, learning you to be just thankful for small things.
Yeah.
Because as I'm saying, we all have a big goals, but I think it's very important.
What has happened? What's happened? Has her phone died again?
Hello, hello.
Okay, you're back.
Yes, I was. Yes, because
Your thought was we all have big goals. So then finish the sentence, and then I can.
Mhm. the big goals for having great skaters and sort of this rivalization when we were skaters is still staying with us as a coaches, that we would like to having the best skaters, I don't know, in the city, in the country, uh, but I think this work teach you to be thankful for the small things, even to please that the skater did the single axel today, that someone were not scared anymore to fall down. So I mean, I think to taking a little bit easier on all those wishes to be just best. I think maybe changing is to be the best of what you can be.
No, that's amazing. I mean, I think being grateful just that we get to live out this kind of lucky. It's very very lucky to be doing something like this, to have spent our life skating. There's
Yes,
many.
and doing what you love. Yes, and doing just what you love, because I mean, not everyone can pick the job which they love. Sometimes you force that you have to work because this is the only chance to be able to afford, I don't know, and to help the family. But I think on the end of the day, we're very lucky that we can do what we like to do and still get paid for it.
Yeah, thank God we went skating one day, eh?
Yes, yes, yes.
Who knows what you would be doing if you never went skating that one time?
I don't even want to know.
Yeah. Maybe you should have gone to do some table tennis. Maybe you would be Olympic champion like six
Well,
times. Who knows?
well, I can tell you that for sure. Nothing what is with hands, because or tennis table, because I'm really bad in it.
Yeah. Oh, I know this has been amazing. And so we just have one final question. So, is there a message you'd like to share with those who are chasing their dreams?
I think the most important to not give up and not getting discouraged by failing.
Mm,
Uh, it's okay to fail, uh, and it's okay to try again and again, because I think that those who don't give up, they finally making to their goals. There is a lot of people who are just giving up on the middle of the road because they starting to disbelieve in themselves. So my message to the young ones is to be patient. Everything will come in the right time.
yeah, there's definitely a message in learning to jump. You know, you have to fall, you have to fail to eventually land a double, a triple. I mean, how many times do you think you fall trying to get each jump, and then eventually you get it and you move on? So, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, Anna, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adam.
Yeah, after 17 years, we
Yes, I mean, we
finally,
have to keep in touch
yeah,
a little bit more, not
yeah,
just
we finally
sporadically
connected.
every 17 years.
Yeah, but definitely in the future when our blades are out, I will definitely come to your rink, and we'll do
Let's
something.
keep in touch, because it's very, I mean, very interesting, and I'm quite sure that it will be very fascinating for the kids as well. So
Thank you so much for tuning in to our latest podcast. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and also please leave a comment below with suggestions for future podcast guests. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Also, follow One Blades if you want to be updated with what's coming next. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.